obsessive or competitive, and what if this is like, you're too much, this is just not healthy for you to be thinking this way, right?
Yeah.
How did you get your mindset into this alter ego to be comfortable being Black Mamba? Like, how did that happen?
It's a good separation for me, emotionally, to be able to put myself in a place where at practice or when I'm training or during games, I switch my mind to something else. I switch my mode into something else, right? For me, it's the equivalent of Maximus Decimus Meridius in Gladiator picking up the dirt, smelling the dirt. It's go time, right? So that was my mental switch. It was like an actor getting ready for a film. You got to put yourself in that cage. When you're in that cage, you are that character. And then when you leave there, it's something completely different. But when I'm in that cage, bro, don't fucking touch me. Don't talk to me. Just leave me alone. There used to be certain games, for certain key games. I don't think I've ever said this before. This kind of makes me seem very psychotic, but whatever. I used to play the Halloween theme song over and over and over in my headphones.
Pre-game. Seriously?
Seriously. And it was important that it was Michael Myers because the mask itself was void of emotion. Void of emotion. It has nothing to do with pressure, it has nothing to do with hype, has nothing to do with camaraderie. It's stone cold killer. And I would listen to that song over and over and over to get, that's when you know you better run, because
that's what a lot of people did.
Yeah,
it's probably coming out.
It's going to be a tough night.
Story.
Yeah.
So, Kobe, you've probably made in this 50-minute conversation, I don't know, 12 metaphors. So typically people that make metaphors, they're storytellers. To them, everything has to paint a picture. And from the day one, you're talking about you were very curious, right? So when you finished the last game you had, and I'll never forget, we were having a training, by the way, in Dallas, and we finished it. This was 3 years ago. And my sister and I get home. It's 12:30. I was hoping I could catch the game. It's your last game. You're playing Utah.
Yeah.
And I'm standing up the entire time. I'm getting the last 4 minutes, which is the best freaking 4 minutes. And I see you, Shaq, saying, go for 50. And then you're just going. And you're not hitting easy shots. These are not easy shots.
Right.
You hit your last shot. You scored 6. Guys, nobody has ever had a 60-point game to retire with. Like, that has never happened. Like, it's insane for this to happen. You hit your 60-point. I got to say this. My sister's in the room. Kobe, I got tears coming down and watching you when this happens, because 20 years I've been following this guy, and I relate to you because in the insurance world, I take a lot of your similarity. You may be in a completely different world. I'm looking at the world here, and it's just like, seeing this guy, he's so freaking determined to say, I came and gave everything I had, and I'm going to give it till the last freaking second. That's what you did. But then you leave, and you're like, no, it's good. I'm cool. You tell your story. You give your message. Everybody's flipping out. And you're like, no, Kobe's going to come back. No. Kobe, and then you go into your storytelling and all this stuff. How did that disconnect and going into that go? And you're still helping out a lot of players. You're always advising Laker. Jeannie calls you. Anybody calls you, you're helping out, no problem. Sure. But how did that adjustment go from there to all of a sudden, man, I got to go tell stories? Yeah. How did that happen?
Because I love it. So, it started for me again in high school when I started learning about storytelling, writing, how to structure a story, how to thread together a narrative that has a bigger message, how to create compelling characters, how to take some of the emotions from my own journey and instill them into characters that inspire or teach the next generation. Therefore, they can avoid some of the pitfalls and landmines that I had to go through. Right? That's something I'm extremely passionate about. So I loved it. So it wasn't a matter of, man, I gotta put this aside. I gotta move on to something else. I was excited. So, man, I can't wait to get started. I can't wait to move on and do something else. And everybody kept saying, man, like, my wife asked me one time, we were filling out a form for school, and it said, all right, father, occupation. She's like, what am I supposed to put down? I don't know, storyteller. You want me to write storyteller on your kid's form?
Wow.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, that's what I'm doing. Because, dude, really? All right, fine, just put producer. I don't know, right? But during that year, everybody kept coming up to me and saying, okay, you're going to have stages of grief when you retire. You're going to go into a state of depression when you retire. And those are all normal and all this other stuff. And I'm like, dude, I'm fine. Yes, of course you would say that. I said that too. I'm like, dude, fuck, man. And so after a while, I just started listening, like, oh, yeah, and and then my competitiveness inside was like, no, I'm gonna do something in the next 20 years that is better than these last 20. You might not understand that. I'm doing that, you know. So the competitiveness kicks in.
You've gone, same determination. What's your current work schedule look like today?
It's different because I personally am not writing every word of the novels. I am not animating the films. What I have to do now is make sure that the people that we bring in, these obsessives that we bring in, are challenging themselves to do the best job that they think they can do. That's what I'm there for, is for them to constantly look in the mirror and self-assess and challenge themselves. If we have a project and you're saying, okay, I can do that, that's not the project we want. The projects that say, I don't know if I can animate that. I don't know how to write that story. I don't know how to do that. Those are the things we want, because through that curiosity, you'll reach a level that you didn't think was possible. Mm-hmm. And so running the studio, that's what I'm doing.
Are you a big movie guy?
You're huge.
Okay, so how do you watch movies? Like, my experience is people watch movies in many different ways. Not everybody watches movies the same way. When you're watching movies, how are you watching a movie?
I watch them multiple times, and I wear different hats every time. So the first time I watch it just as a fan for pure entertainment value. Then I watch it from the director's lens and see why he made some of the decisions, or she made some of the decisions that she made for the film. Mm-hmm. And then I look at the lighting.
Lighting?
Oh, yeah. Lighting's extremely important.
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
Then
I listen to the music. And then you can challenge yourself by really understanding the director's point of view if you watch a film without music and without sound. Then you can actually see the film for what it is. So I watch it at different stages.
I mean, obviously, Academy Awards that you won, the gentleman you hired for the sound, wasn't it John?
John Williams.
John
Williams,
did the music, right? And John Williams is like the GOAT in his world.
Bro, he's the modern day Beethoven.
Yeah.
And this guy's composed any song right now that you can remember from a film, he's done. Superman theme, did that. Indiana Jones, did that. Jaws, did that. Harry Potter, did that. The Olympics theme, did that too. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. And, he's like 85 years old.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
he's
pure passion.
He's doing the new Star Wars film now. Oh, Star Wars too, that part. He did that one too. Yeah.
So when you say recruiting and putting your team together with your projects today, who are you recruiting? Like, if you're putting a basketball team together, you need a GM, president, trainers, all this stuff, assistant, good coach. What do you need right now when you put?
Like, for example, right now, building out an animation house, right? So you got to start with the head of the snake. You got to look at the person that's better understands the type of animation that you want to create. And they have to be obsessives, have to have a knowledge base, a historical knowledge base, because I love people that understand the history of their industry, ins and outs of it all. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then you bring that person into the picture, and then you allow them to do what you brought them in to do.
So you leave them alone, kind of like Phil left you guys alone to do.
I'm not going to hire you to tell you how to do your job.
Got it. So recruiting. Obviously, in the league, you were known as a great recruiter. So what is your recruiting approach? So if you're sitting down with me, I'm somebody you really want me on the team. What's your approach to recruit me?
You want first place, come play with me. You want second place, go somewhere else.
This is too much fun here. final thoughts, man. What are we going to see with Kobe next 20 years? What other projects you got in mind that you're working on right now?
The biggest challenge for us is looking at the entertainment industry and how to diversify it, particularly in animation, but also in writing and young YA novels, middle grade novels, how to create more diverse characters, how do we have better representation, how do we create better opportunities, not just in ethnicity, but also gender diversity. I have 4 girls, right? So my mission is to make sure women have opportunities that they haven't been afforded. That is I'm the father of 4 girls. So that is my next obsession, is how do we lead that charge from the front? How do we take an animation industry that lacks in diversity, substantially lacks in diversity? How do we take some of those old animation techniques and teach a whole new generation of animators to come in and create films that inspire the world? And we're getting after it.
I think everybody knows crystal clear Kobe's going to get whatever Kobe wants. That's crystal clear, man. Brother, appreciate you for coming out, man. Truly, this has been a blast. Make some noise, Kobe Bryant.
Thank you.
I got a gift for you, man. I want to give you a gift. Hang tight. Let me give you this.